Alright, so I know it's been a minute, but I've been under the weather, so I figured I would sit down and talk to you guys about how I set up my guitar tones, my personal preference, and we're going to see what happens when you move certain distortions around in the guitar chain. So I got my iPad set up, I got my guitar set up, so let's get to it. Alright guys, so let's look at a tone I made a couple days ago. Real quick, so I like to build tones that are simple. I don't like jumping between patches. I like very basic setups, which is why I like the FireHawk so much. But I like to layer all of my tones. Depending on what patch I have set up is what effects I'll put in there, how I attack my strings, how I play with the guitar volume, all plays an effect to it. And I kind of like to listen and not worry about playing foosball as far as my feet go. What I like to do is get the patch set up, turn everything off, and we're going to go one at a time and turn things on. Also, I have a set, simple riff to play. It's nothing crazy, nothing too fancy, but it allows me to hear the difference while I'm setting up patches. So this is just the 1968 Plexi, and this is with my guitar volume all the way up. Half off. So right there, I don't have to worry about switching patches, turning off distortions, levels. It's all about controlling the volume on my guitar. Perfect. Let's go ahead and turn on the EQ, okay? As we see, a lot of people don't mess with the EQ. They either EQ it wrong. My main thing is pushing above the bass, pushing above the drums, so I'm within the mix, not just behind it. And so I kind of focus on pushing the mids up a little bit more. So let's hear what the mids sound like. Turn the guitar down. Not too bad, and I'm really happy with that sound. So now let's say if you want to crunch this up, okay? Let's go ahead and turn on a compressor, okay? This is going to really push those bass and trebs that are down here, and even with the treb, and or with the mids, and really give you that nice crisp tone without going way too high and peaking on the mixers. So again, this is EQ, compressor, and this is volume up. Now without a distortion guitar, okay, or a distortion pedal, I'm going to pull back my volume, right? Crunch it. Full volume. Now this way I'm really focusing on my pick attack. So really, if you're kind of not going too crazy on the distortion end of a song, you can really manipulate with this. Now let's say you wanted to have that nice easy sound on a verse or intro, but when it hits the chorus, you really want to crunch on it, okay? So I have the stomp set up to drive, not a screamer, not any type of crazy distortion. So let's turn that on. Again, boosting the mids. Now, I'm super big into Bruce Springsteen, hearing those type of tones, really having that classic tone. So I really like how that sounds. And when you pull back on the volume again, or if you dig in, that classic hair tone, well, at least classic rock. Alright, so let's go ahead and think about adding a reverb, adding a module delay into it, as well as a delay. So I like to start with the reverb first. I think if you add a delay and work on it and then add a reverb, it just throws things out of whack. So for me, it's easier to add a reverb first, then the delay. So this one's a 63 spring. We're going to add it in. Okay, listen to it now. Half off. So I like the breath in it that the reverb gives. They're all different. Just depends on your taste. Definitely play with the decay. Make sure you have the tone and mix evened out. because it could be overwhelming. Now, let's go ahead and add a modulating effect into it. I personally like the analog chorus, so let's listen to what it sounds like. Now, you could go a different direction and turn off the modulating chorus, and when you're playing a song, turn that on only on the choruses, and it really pushes you out. It really emphasizes that song. Here's with the guitar volume half off. Okay. Let's go ahead and mess with the delay. Okay. Stereo delay. If you're trying to thicken your guitar sound, some people like to do a delay sandwich with a delay sandwich basically. So distortion, distortion, delay in the middle. Could get a little bit muddy depending on what you're doing. I like to use one stereo delay unless you're trying to use like a U2 method for the edge. So let's hear how this sounds. So really great on those big chords, but if you want to chunk it again. So it works on that end. Now, for me personally, I do like how nice and even the sound is for me. Now, if you guys were to manipulate how this guitar tone, it could even go worse if you just move the stomp from behind the amp to in front of the modulation. And this is what it sounds like. Automatically, we're talking about muddied signal. The mids are way overwhelmed. It just sounds like crap. And so if you just keep an eye on what your guitar chain is set up like, we go literally from crap, or unless you're gonna go for a fuzz sound, to a nice clean sound. And just like that, you have your tone set up. So definitely keep an eye out on how you guys are setting up your tone. It makes a huge difference. Just one simple pedal move makes the sound go from an easy tone to a way horrible tone. And let's say if you were at this point where you wanted all your pedals after the chain, and you're trying to do the EQ and you're trying to do the presets on your amp, you're gonna waste a lot of your time and get frustrated because you can't get a good tone. So simply just moving and experimenting before you do a whole bunch of time invested in presets can make a world of a difference. Alright guys, so that's all the time I had for you today. If you liked the video, please do a thumbs up. Write a comment below, let me know how much you like it. Until next time, this is Tone Friday's video.